we're live. Tim, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Greg.
Um, I thought we might start with your most recent race, which was the major in Vienna, where you got your qualification for the World Championships. It looked like it meant a lot to you, did it?
Yeah, it meant a lot to me. So, I think everyone who has an injury knows that feeling when you get rewarded for hard work. And yeah, that was a feeling. It was amazing. It was a really hard race, with up and downs. And yeah, at the end, it was enough to get that World Championship spot for Nice.
You mentioned the injury, so I know you missed out on the World Championships in Manchester. Was that through injury? Was the injury from that point onwards that you've been struggling with it?
No, like I had an injury 3 weeks before the World Championships. So yeah, I knew when I go to the World Championships in Manchester that maybe I can't race, but I try everything that I can race, but it was enough. So yeah, I didn't run like a month before the World Championships, and then at the warm up I tried the first time, and I hope um, I can run. But yeah, um, when you feel that moment when it doesn't um, it doesn't um, when you feel that moment that you can't run with the injury, it's like the hardest moment in your life. And yeah, that was the moment. So I had it 3 weeks before, or like for 4 weeks before, and from then, like, yeah, until now, I need to say. So I was injury free 3 weeks before Vienna, so completely injury free. Then it's it's like a joke. I hadn't any pain 2 weeks, so both hips were fine, and then the other hip made problems. So yeah, it was a little bit shit. So yeah, then before Vienna, I didn't run 2 weeks because the other hip makes problem, and then yeah, with some pain reliever, I could run in Vienna, but from Vienna until now, I have the same problem like the other hip, but not so bad um, like before the World Championships in Manchester. So I'm confident that I can go to the normal training in like 1 or 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay. Have you been able to run since Vienna, or as
No, no,
wow?
no
Okay.
running, just biking, just cross trainer, stairmaster, rowing, ski erg, some strength training. Yeah, it's not the best, but it's okay. So I knew it before Vienna when I race. I knew that I will have some problems the next weeks, but yeah, it was worth it.
It makes the performance in Vienna all the more impressive, really, when you take that into account. Was you in pain during the race?
Yeah, yeah, I had pain, but it was fine. So, when you have a lot of adrenaline and then you don't have that much pain, but you run with that feeling, okay, something isn't right at your hip. And yeah, it's not good, but yeah, at the end it was enough to get that spot, and that's the most important thing at this season.
There was a moment when you came out of the sled pull, I think, in that
Yeah.
Vienna race, and you sort of it was almost like a cheer and a smile.
Yeah,
What
it's
what was that? Was
funny.
that because
I felt so great, honestly. So after the sled pull was everything fine, and then I go to the run, and then oh shit, my lower back was completely sore. So I had a lot of back pain, and then you come with that back pain to the burpees, and you think so fuck off. And then the 80 meters burpees was totally shit because when your back is dead, every jump hurts so much. And then the run was also not good. And then for my luck, in the rowing, my back after the rowing was fine again. So then I could go into my normal pace, and that was good. But it was a little bit funny because I was so happy after the slap pull, and then in my run, oh no, you're so stupid.
A little bit premature.
Yeah. So it was a learning. Don't be happy too early in this race.
Yeah.
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 But it was a good feeling. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So then you went out and got drunk and then got up and did the doubles with Paul as well the next day.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, my body needs a lot of time after the weekend to recover. It was fine because on Monday, like Carnival.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I celebrate Carnival with two good friends of my village. And yeah, it was good, but it was really tough. So my body needs almost a week to recover. No sleep. A lot of energy, adrenaline, of course, too much alcohol, but yeah, I would do the same again, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. Brilliant. Just on the injury, like I guess you've just been training around not being able to run. Is there anything specific that you've been doing? Is it more time on the bike specifically that you think transfers over to running best, or is it just a bit of everything?
I think what I try to do on the other um, cardio machines is that I build, or I try to build, the biggest motor I've ever had. So like normally I do almost 1.5 hour or 2 hours per day on a bike or on a cross trainer. So that's my goal, to build now a good aerobic system that I hope that I will be able 10 weeks before the Worlds to run again, to get that specific endurance. And I think that's enough, to come to the Worlds and have a really, really good running performance. And now I'm concentrate like on the specific stations like skier, rowing, lunges, all these things that I'm improving, that stations, building a good aerobic system, and then 10 weeks before, I try to match everything together. And I think that's a good game plan, to be the fittest of myself to the world.
Yeah. I saw you posted actually on Instagram that you said 15 weeks is a long time and I'm trying to slow myself down in training so I don't burn out by June. It's more difficult than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine that with that as a goal, like you just want to do everything, but you do have to try and rein it in, right?
Yeah, that's true, because I think I train really hard and I can push myself really, really hard to the limit. And I think that was a little small or big mistake in last season. So I was in a really, really good shapes, like 10 weeks before the World. So I ran like a marathon in 2:37. Then I had like a small competition in a gym, but also with high intensity the week after, and 2 weeks after the marathon at Cologne, like in 56. So my current PB, and it was like too much intensity in a small time. And then after Cologne, I felt good. I go also hard into the training, and that was a mistake. I think if you have a really, really good shape, you can't hold it like 10 weeks. You need to calm down, say, okay, now 1 week or 2 weeks, just easy training, and then to build up again. And yeah, I think I had a too early good form last year, and that was like for my whole system a little bit too much.
Yeah. Can we talk about your background, what you were doing before Hyrox?
Yeah,
well,
of
first,
course.
how old are you, firstly?
25.
25. So you're one of the youngest, or the youngest, I think, in the Elite 15, really.
Yeah, I think. I don't know, Ryan Charlek. I think he's also like 50, 25 or 50, 20, 26, I think, but
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what were you doing as a sport as a kid?
So yeah, I grew up in a small village. So my sport when I was a kid was first football or soccer. Yeah, just like everyone. And then yeah, I played, I think, several other sports like tennis. I was like in gymnastic when I was younger. I do a lot of yeah, other sports like cross country skiing. You know it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did that
Yeah.
also. So yeah, I did almost everything because I have a lot of fun at sport. And then like when I was 14 or 16, my dad grew up like a track and field club. And then yeah, I started with running. So my former background was a track and field athlete. So between 800 meters and 3000 meters. Yeah, I was not bad, but not really good. So it wasn't enough to run like the European Championships or World Championships for the youth. But it was enough to run at the German or national ships. So it was good. But when I was 18, I decided that running isn't not everything what I want to do. So it was like yeah, only running, it wasn't enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
So then I heard from Hyrox in 2018. So I wrote in a magazine, it's called Fit for Fun. And yeah, I was on a cross trainer warming up for my strength session. And then I read from the new sport. The name was there Kurox. So before it's called Hyrox, it named Kurox. And yeah, so if you were like a really good athlete, you need that next step. So you can't train week for week. So you need like a competition in the future that you motivate. So, and then I wrote from Kurox, and then I decide, okay, I want to start with that, and then I trained for that. And yeah, so then I started with Hyrox in 2018 in Hamburg. It was my first race. It was funny because I was from the beginning at the pro division. It was a little bit weird because my weight was like 68 kilograms, so lightweight. And yeah, my parents said I'm crazy because no chance that I can move any weights. And yeah, sled pull told me like I think 10 minutes I needed a sled pull. And I think at the wall balls I need 9 minutes or 8 minutes. So it was a really tough start. But it was good enough to qualify me for the first World Championships in Oberhausen. And from Oberhausen, I won the World Championships title in my age group until 24 years. like in 107. So my first race was in 117, and then I won the title in 107. And from there on, I love that sport, and I enjoyed.
Nice. Was that must have been one of the first ever Hyrox races, right?
Yeah. So I was since the beginning of Hyrox, um, on a competition.
Okay. All right. Amazing. Um, so you were doing like 800 to 3,000. I can't remember who it was. Someone was asking me recently what I felt like if you're looking at runners that could come into Hyrox, what sort of distance runner would be best suited to Hyrox? What do you think? Is it around that sort of 800 to 3,000 level? Is it more of a 10K runner would be better suited, do you think? Or just depends on the person?
It depends, because if you run a fast 3K on a track, you also run a really fast 10K on the street or on the road. So yeah, if you run like a 8 minute or 8:30 on a 3K, you can run like a 30 or 31 a minute on a 10K. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What times, what sort of times were you doing back in those days when you were like 16, 17?
Like I think when I was 15, I ran like a 9 minute on 3K. So that was my PB. So yeah, I was good, of course. But yeah, after that after that 9 minutes on 3K, I stopped with running. So yeah, that was my PB, like 800 meters. And I was like 12 or 13 and 210, 208,
Wow.
something like that, and 1500 in for 4 minutes, for 10, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Impressive. So, and you also do, is it, do you work, are you a sports scientist? Is that the work
Yeah.
you do?
I'm sports scientist. So I studied that during Corona, during the pandemic. And yeah, it was good because it's like was online, just online lessons. So it was good to learn and to
Mhm.
train. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you must be, are you like constantly looking at studies that you're applying to your training and everything like that?
Yeah. That's good. So I read a lot of studies, but not every study you can say, okay, I can implement that into my training, because it isn't possible. But yeah, some studies are very interesting. And then, yeah, sometimes I implement it into my training. Yeah, it's good.
So since that first race that you did where you like took 10 minutes on the sled pull and everything, presumably you went away and did a lot of work on the strength side of things.
Yeah, I think I'm not the strongest athlete in the field, but I think if you have the right technique on all stations, strength doesn't matter a lot, you know? And that's so I don't try to get bigger now. So I try to get stronger, yeah, and try to implement my new strengthness into my good technique, and then I hope I get faster in the stations.
I was going to say you are very good on the stations. You're not like the biggest guy in the field by any means, but you do perform very strongly on the stations, and particularly the ergs actually as well, which you might traditionally think of as being suited towards bigger guys. Are you? What does that come from? Is that again like just really focusing on the technique? Are you spending hours on them?
I think on the ergs, why I'm not bad in it, I like in ski erg, the most people go with like a strokes per minute, like 40 until 45. And I think so. I'm not the strongest athlete, so I try to increase the strokes per minute, that I will can speed up my pace through my higher frequency. So when I'm on the ski erg, like I'm 45 until 40, 55, 52. So it's a way higher than the other athletes, but it works. So it's good because I have a really big aerobic capacity. So yeah, that's my way to be one of the fastest athlete at the ergs. The same in rowing, of course.
What damper setting do you use when you're using that sort of stroke rate?
So on the ski erg, like six or seven, more than six. Yeah, that's good, I think.
Yeah. Do you know what you're like? What sort of pace do you ski and row at in the race so that people can relate to it? Is it like a 145
like
pace?
in the ski erg, I try to erg like 141 until 144. Yeah. So and then I want to improve it until the words that it's like 140, 142. So not slower. And at the rower 145, 143. Yeah, like that. But I try to improve it so that I will row like a 140 and ski erg like 142. Yeah. Because it's important, especially at the beginning of the race, to keep up with the stronger guys, because I don't like it when you go to the sled push and you're in the 10th position, because it's hard mentally when you come to the sled push and the other athletes are one line before you. And yeah, that's why I go hard on the ski erg and try to come like with the best 3 or 5 into the sled push.
I feel like that is like a mentality that has been shifting recently in a lot of you guys, in that it used to the conversation used to be like, don't ruin your race at the ski erg and don't go too hard. But the reality is now that you can lose it as well by being too far behind. And like when Hunter races, like he goes very hard from there. And I noticed like in all the majors this year that the eventual winner has, I think, been leading at least by the end of the sled pull. So like very early on in the race, like the winner is almost there. So you can't afford to like fall too far behind early in the race, can you?
Yeah, that's the thing, because like in Vienna, like Alex and Sandy running an unbelievable fast pace in the first round. So when you say, okay, I run my own race, I start with my constant pace, I ski in my own pace, you have a big problem because you're 30 seconds behind the field. And that's really hard for a mindset. And yeah, that's because I think it's important to go hard at the begin. Yeah, and then try to hold the pace with the rest of the field.
Those erg paces that you just mentioned, are they fairly closely aligned with if you did a 2K test? If you've done one of those, is that fairly closely aligned with what you might do a 2K at, or is it slower than that, quicker than that?
Like the 2K pace, it's almost that what I do in the race. Yeah. So, but in my training, I never row more than like 1K, or I never go ski erg more than 1K. So because it's, for me, it's the most boring thing in the world to row like 5K. So that's like a little bit different maybe to other athletes or to other coaches. I say, okay, it's like only 1K you need to race fast. I don't think that you need a aerobic specific capacity on the rower or on the skier, because it's like just 1K. And that's why I just do often hard intervals like 300 meters or 500 meters. And yeah, and maybe every month one time, like a 1K at race pace, 5 times, something like that. But I try to get a good pace with short intervals.
Okay, makes sense. And then, so if you were doing like zone 2 work or easy work, you would generally do that either on the bike or running.
Yeah, by bike or running, or sometimes like every 4 minutes bike, ski, run. Just need just easy work. Yeah, when I don't want to run or just don't want to go on a bike. But also important that I always end the workout with high speed. So when I go easy on a bike, or no, not easy on a bike, when I go easy on the ski and row, like for 1 hour, I always end up with fast 300 meters. That the last what remember my system is how to row fast or how to erg fast, and that's also my approach on running or on the ergs.
Okay. Just because you want like the body to remember how to do that as opposed to like training it to be slow, right?
Yeah. That's what I think that's important. That's why I always end with some strides at the runs, so that my body at the end remember, okay, how can I run fast? The the speed. Yeah, because you always want to go fast, not slow. And yeah, that's why I always end strong.
Okay. All right. What is your training volume every week in terms of hours?
I think it depends. Like without stretching, I'm 18 until 20 hours a week.
Okay.
And yeah, with stretching and mobility, like over 20 hours, I think. Yeah.
And if you were perfectly fit and could run as much as you wanted, what would your running volume be in terms of like kilometers?
When I can run, normally I would run like between 80 until 100 kilometers
In a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I love running, and 80 until 100. So because when you train like 12 times a week and you don't want to spend much time on the ergs, you can do like your easy sessions always with running, and then you come easily on 80 kilometers each week. When you have a long run at a Sunday with 20K or 25K, you're really, really quick at your 80K or 100K.
Yeah. Where do you think you're at? I know we talked about what you used to do for 3K or whatever. Where do you think you're at for a 5K or a 10K nowadays?
Now, honestly, I don't know. Not really fast. I think like my best time was 5K, like 15:15. About a 5K road race. Actual, I think 10K like 33 minutes until 34 minutes. And 5K like 16:30, something like that. But it's honestly it's too slow at the moment. Yeah. So at the moment I'm not really happy about my running performance. But yeah, I have time until the words.
And those hips are ready, you'll be ready.
That's true.
You're a coach and obviously a very, very good runner. Do you have how do you think someone should structure, like people listening to this, how should they structure their running training through the week if they're not elite and if they're not going to run 80 to 100 kilometers in a week? Do you feel like there's a lot of talk like 80-20 split between easy and fast work and everything like that. Do you subscribe to that?
Yeah, yeah, maybe, but it's a little bit more complicated because I know when someone starts with sport or with Hyrox, the most people think, okay, they can train like 7 times a week because Hyrox, you have so much space to train in Hyrox, like strength, workouts, ergs, running, and then yeah, it's often too much when you start with sport. So it depends how many times a week you want to train. So for beginners, I think it's enough to train like 3 until 4 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I would suggest that, okay, when you go 4 times a week, you have like one strength training, one specific workout with running and Hyrox stations. So you have like there some good intervals in there. So when you start, I would say strength training, specific workout with running, with like threshold or faster, and then like one easy run, yeah, on your heart rate, and then maybe one run, yeah, with some different speeds, like you run 50 minutes and every 5 minutes you do like a 200-meter stride, something like that. So just start really, really easy, because at the beginning, you improve your endurance and your speed just with easy running. So yeah, I would start just with easy running and do some intervals on the Hyrox simulation.
Okay. What about for someone training a little bit more than that? So if they're training 6 days a week, maybe they can run 40 to 50K in a week.
Yeah. So when you go like five times a week to the training, I would say, okay, you have also one Hyrox simulation where you go hard with intervals, and then you have one running workout. Yeah. And I like to do only pure running workouts, not something like that you can do in the rest, 10 burpees or 10 squats or something like that. So just pure running workouts, and yeah, that's enough. So, and then 2 easy runs. Yeah, it's simple. So running isn't complicated, to be honest. It's simple. You need to run, you need to do some intervals, and then you need to look that you can recover. But it's not easy to implement good running into the whole Hyrox stuff, because it's hard when you do intervals, and after intervals you do like a strength session, and after the strength sessions you do like a sled workout. It's too much. Your body can't compensate everything, especially for beginners. And yeah, so you need to look that, yeah, you have enough rest days and between all sessions.
Okay. What about running technique? I'm just thinking, I had Rich Ryan on last week and then Paleo Menendez the week before. And now you three have very, very good running techniques, very good runners. Do you work on your technique, and like, do you coach people on that side of things?
Yeah. I try to coach people a lot in the things, because yeah, the most important thing is that when you run since you're a kid, or you're like a footballer, or you were a sprinter in a track and field club, you have a good running technique often. But when you start running, like when you're 30, or like in an older age, not in the 20s, or when you're a kid, your body don't have the right economy. So you often, you start running, and your first step is on a hill, and then yeah, your whole body is to is like in the back position,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't increase the speed. Yeah. And then I try to coach the people how you can more run on the middle field, or the middle feet, and then you bring your hip more in front, that you can speed up your pace. But what's also important is when you change your running technique, that you start slowly to change your running technique. Because if you run completely different, your whole body needs to change everything. So you your muscles, your bones, your tendons, everything will everything so everything is a little bit different, yeah, for your whole body. And then it's often that you have like small injuries because of the different running technique.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's something that I like to introduce gradually. Like I've been trying, for example, to just do some work in my warm up sessions, like when I'm doing my warm ups, and then like, not focus on it too much in the main session to try and build it up gradually for that reason.
Yeah, and also some drills are very important, like high knees or other things, because then you learn to bring your hip in front, and yeah, that helps. And I would suggest everyone who wants to improve their running to go like in a track club, yeah, with some good coaches, and then that's the best way to learn good running, to learn it from a track and field club.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If we switch a bit to your mindset during a race, where does your mind go when the race is getting tough?
When it's getting tough, oh yeah, it's a good question. So it depends how it feels, but so at the begin, I think at the beginning of the race, it's like the mindset, okay, I start to win. And then when it's getting tough is, yeah, I try to enjoy the pain, honestly. So because I do it because I love it. And yeah, I try to enjoy the pain. So I try to smile. Yeah. Because when I smile, it can't be as worse what my mind think. And yeah, just go, and don't think too much about the pain. Yeah, because when you go to the start, you do it because you love it. So don't complain about the pain.
Mm-hmm. So are you telling yourself? Are you like trying to tell yourself in that moment that this is great? Is that
Yeah,
what you're doing? Yeah.
yeah, it's great. It's great to have pain. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you do it because you love that feeling of pain. And that's why I hope everything and do Hyrox, because they love to suffer.
Okay. Um, you're obviously working up towards worlds now. Do you have any? But you did have some doubles records as well. Do
Yeah,
you?
I had.
you, you lost 3 world records in a weekend, but
Yeah, on one day.
yeah,
But I think it's better to lose every record in one day than like in 3 weekends be behind. So yeah, it was hard, but yeah, now I can hunt the other records again.
do you have plans to do that?
Of course, I have plans, but I don't know if it happens this season, but I'm sure that it happens this year.
Okay,
Yeah. But
okay,
the records are very hard because you don't need a good, you don't need only a good performance, you need also a good venue, you know. And
yeah,
if both if you have a good shape, good venue, then you need also a good day. So it isn't easy, but it makes fun to hunt. Yeah.
yeah.
It's easier than to hold a record, to be honest.
um, what's your best sporting moment ever?
The best moment. Oh, I have a lot of moments. Hmm. I think I have my three top moments were, of course, the sub 50 with Michael Sandbach with Sandy, because we are just for our whole life, for the whole Hyrox life, the first double sub 50. Yeah, that was amazing. So no one can take it from us. And yeah, then and now my second place in Maastricht, and now my third place in Vienna.
Yeah.
That were my greatest sports moment, because not only that feeling that you achieve the goal, because of that feeling, okay, there are so many other people out there who support you in front of the TV, like or in Instagram, and that's great. Yeah, that you have that feeling, okay, other people believe in me. And yeah, and especially on these races, you have that feeling, hey, it's great. It's great. There are
Yeah.
some people who are in your or in my back, yeah, who supports me.
Yeah. I should say, just for people that are listening, if they're not aware, so Tim was the first to go under 50 minutes in the men's doubles with Michael Sandbach, which
Yeah,
is a crazy achievement, really. When if you've done a doubles and you know what it takes to go sub 50 minutes is unbelievable. So yeah,
yeah.
amazing. Um, what are your hopes for Worlds? Do you have like a position in mind that you're shooting for or anything like that?
It's funny because I think when you ask everyone in the men's field, I think everyone says, okay, he goes to the Worlds to win, yeah, to win, because that's the goal when you're on the start line, is to win. I heard something in like 3 weeks, no, 3 years, like in a TV show, and someone said, okay, I played a game to win this game. And yeah, that's my motto in every race. So if you go to the start line and you say, okay, I'm here, I'm so glad, I just want to enjoy the race, that's the wrong mindset. So my goal is in Nice to be the next world champ, of course. And that's funny, because if you compare, I think, the mindset from the men's field to compare it with the women's field, it's completely different.
Yeah.
So yeah, because like the woman said, okay, I'm on the world champs in Nice, just want to enjoy. I'm happy. Yeah, the other women are so strong, and yeah, I hope that I have a good race. And it's completely different. It's funny. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you see
Yeah.
that also in the races, because I think in the men's elite races, it's completely crazy that everyone can win. Yeah, because maybe it's a mindset that also when you come in the 15th place in Stockholm, you believe in the next major race that you can win.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's good, and that's funny. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. It is very close on the men's side, like, and we're working up towards the last chance qualifiers in Cologne, and it's there's one spot up for grabs with a lot of athletes that can race, and it's almost impossible to call who's going to win that.
No, so I'm honestly happy that I don't need to race there,
Yeah.
because it's so hard. There are so many good athletes who aren't still qualified for the world. Yeah, but I'm honestly, of course, I cross my fingers for my Germans athletes, especially for Florian Gast. But I'm sure, but I hope that a second German athlete will qualify for
Mhm.
Nice.
Do you quite like? Are you happy with the setup of the majors and the last chance qualifiers and qualifying for worlds this year? Would you change it at all?
No, I'm happy. So I think it's better that we do the ski erg in the normal ski erg stations, you know, because in Chicago, the ski erg were on every sled stations, and that's not good because you need to count, okay, where's my ski erg, and it isn't easy. So like in Chicago, Magida take accidentally my ski erg, and I need to run back and take other ski erg. So it's busy. I think it's better or easier for the athletes when you go to the normal stations. And I like it that we don't need to run like that 10 lanes on the farmer's carry, but I saw it in DC. There was the former setup. Yeah, it's a weird station, to be honest. Farmer's carry to run 32 kilogram kettlebells through 200 meters. But yeah, I like it, and I'm not sure if it's better to get a judge for all stations. You need like an individual judge for all stations, or it's better like different judge on all stations. Not sure, but I like it.
But the overall process as well of like in terms of there being 4 majors and 2 last chance qualifiers and qualifying for the majors through time or previous performances, are you happy with that overall setup?
So you mean that? Sorry. Yes. So half and half, because I mean it was crazy because in DC you hadn't a chance if everyone comes who are already qualified and like a big queue or a small queue, you can't race in that major race. Also you have a good time. You know what I mean? Because every 15 were qualifying.
Lots of auto qualifiers already, so even if you had a great time, you wouldn't have necessarily.
That makes no sense. And the second problem is, like, if you have a good time, you have the chance to race in the major races, but you're like a athlete in the US, and the next race is in Vienna. So it means like you need to spend a lot of money for a whole journey. So it's a little bit difficult, I think, because if you're like just a good athlete, you don't have so much money or any sponsor, you need to spend like almost $2,000 or something like that to go to Europe to race, and then you have that jet lag the first time, and then maybe you don't perform, you're out of the lead, and you don't have any chance to race again. You know what I mean? And that's not good, I think. And then you have like just only one chance to race again, like in Anaheim, if you are a US athlete. And that's, it's really tough. So it's a good idea, but not a perfect idea, I think. I think something they can change.
What would you change? Have you got something in mind, a way that you would change it?
So, of course, they need to delete all times in the previous season. So it was my luck, to be honest, last year, because I couldn't run, and I have that time of 56 minutes in Cologne, and that's why I qualify in Vienna. That was my luck of the system, that's for sure. But all in all, it's not fair that you have like a good time in the previous season, and then you can race in all major races. Although other athletes are better at the moment as you, and have good races in the actual season. So I think after awards, they need to delete all times, and everyone needs to race. But you need to have the opportunity to race. So you can't do like the first major race at the beginning of October, and you have just one possibility to race. So it makes no sense.
Okay.
But yeah, I think something like that. especially the times. It's not fair.
Yeah, makes sense. All right. Thank you. This has been great. If people want to follow you, find out you're doing coaching. I think you've got a podcast now, right?
Yeah, a German podcast for all German listeners.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. Beyond the Finish Line, German podcast. Like I'm a coach for culture training. Yeah, that's my coaching platform. And yeah, I'm happy when I get some messages from you. Thank you, Greg.
What are you on Instagram?
Tim Wenisch.
Okay.
Tim Wenisch on
All right.
Instagram.
All right.
Great.
Awesome. Well, thank you for this. Good luck in recovering with your hip problems. Good luck in your prep for the Worlds.
Thank you.
And I will hopefully talk to you again soon.